it's Tammy with Tammy Creations, and tonight we're going to be making this double pendant, and it's with square copper, dead soft copper wire, and some copper beads, and a couple of cabochons. Mine are 1 inch and 8 millimeters by 10 millimeters across for the one on top. And if you would like to make this pendant, please keep watching. Thanks. So the tools that we will need to make this pendant today include our flush cutters, our chain nose pliers, round nose pliers, nylon jaw pliers, and a pen vise. You're going to need square 20 gauge copper wire, and I have 4 lengths, and each one is 13 inches long. Since we'll be doing a double pendant, we need it extra long. You're also going to need some 28 gauge round dead soft wire for weaving, and a few 4 millimeter copper beads. You'll also need some half round wire, and mine is, no, that's not it. Mine is 22 gauge dead soft half round, and you'll probably need maybe 6 inches of that at the most. You also need 2 cabochons. I'm using Dragon's Blood Jasper round and oval. The round one is 25 millimeters around, which is about 1 inch, and the oval one is 3/4 of an inch tall and 1/4 of an inch wide. So to begin, we will take one of our wires from our 13-inch set, and we're going to put it in the pin vise. And then the other end, I'm just going to grab with my chain nose, these are tweezer nose pliers, and hold on to it tight there. And then just start twisting the pin vise once you've tightened it until you get the desired amount of twist. And I think that's good. So I'll take it out of there. And then this one is going to go down at the bottom, and it will become the front wire when we place it around our pendant. So I'm just lining these up and finding the center, and I'm going to get my short piece of half round wire, and I'm going to begin wrapping right in the center here, making sure they're all lined up, and the twisted one is down there at the bottom. So I've got this underneath with the half round side pointed up or toward the wires, and the flat side pointed toward the wires, and the half round side pointing out. So I'm just going to repeat that and press them down every so often just to make sure they stay in line. And sometimes you can just hold this with your nylon jaw pliers to keep those from going over top of each other. Okay, and squeeze those together. And then I'm going to bring on each side, bring them up and trim them off so that they will lay flat in the center here. And this is the side that's going to be against the stone. So then we can start shaping it around our stone. So just start making it into a round shape here, like this. And we've got our twisted wires here on top of the stone. And then if you turn it to the other side, make sure that your wires down here are in the center. We're going to take this back wire and go in between the back wire and the next one, and then just make a little twist inward. And we'll do the same on the other side. And this will give our cabochon something to sit on and keep it from falling out the back. So in the back it looks like this. All right. Then we're just going to bend these right at the top like this to bring them together. So I'm going to take out the stone and put together each side, all the wires, line them up, and just wrap a piece of blue tape around them to keep them secure. Okay, I'll do that on both sides just to keep them in the correct alignment. And then I'm going to get another small piece of my half round wire, maybe 3 inches, and I'm going to wrap it around all 8 wires. So this will pull them together. Nice and tight, sorry. And I'm going to pull this little one around through this gap. Okay, and then the rest I'm going to start wrapping around the 8 wires, keeping them stacked on top of each other like this. So I'm just going to do a few wraps around and push them down toward the neck there. And then I'm going to remove the tape. Okay, I removed the tape. And then I'm going to separate these out so that all of my wires are, let's see, I've got the back ones. And then I've got my twisted wires, one on each side. Whoops. There's a twisted wire for this side. And then the wire behind it. Okay, so I've got 4 wires in the back here, 2 on each side, and then I've still got this little tail from my half round. So I'm going to bring this 4th wire in the back and just wrap that around it once and trim it off. And then I'm going to trim off my starting wire here too. All right, now you're going to need your 28 gauge round wire for weaving. And we're going to weave across these 4 wires here. I'm just going to use my nylon pliers to kind of straighten these out a bit. Okay. And we're just going to weave across them to create a little place for this oval to sit right here. So we're just going to do a few repeats. We will start by going around the bottom of the 4 wires. So I'm going to put it in between the bottom 2 and just wrap my little tail around here. And I'm going to go around it 3 times. 1, 2, 3, just to get it secured. And I'm going to go ahead and trim off that tail. Okay. So now we're going to push this down as close as we can to the base, and we're going to go around the bottom 2 wires. So just lift it up and around the bottom 2. We're going to go in between the bottom 2, and we're going to come up and around the middle 2. So in between the bottom 2 and in between the top 2 to go around the middle 2. Then to go around the top 2, we have to go here in between the top, or in between the middle 2, under this one, and around both of the top, in here, to go around the 2 top ones. Okay? Then coming back, let's just do 1 around each. So we're going to go once around that top one, once around the second to the top, once around the second to the bottom, and once around the bottom. Then we're going to repeat. We're going to do 2 around the bottom 2. Push them down. We're going to go in between those 2 and go around the next 2, which are the middle 2. And then we're going to go in between those 2 and around the top 2 twice. Then we're going to go around each one 1 time. So we go underneath the one and around it, underneath the next one and around it, underneath the next one and around it, and underneath the bottom one and around it. So just keep repeating this until we get to the point where we reach, we reach about here, 3/4 of the way up. We don't want to go all the way up to the top of that stone, but just right about there, and then we can stop. So I'm going to continue with the weave, and I'll be back when I've reached that point. All right, so I have completed enough that when I place my stone and turn it over, it goes about 3/4 of the way up to the top of the stone, and that's what I want. So I'm just going to finish this off with a couple more wraps around the bottom wire, and then I'm going to trim it. Okay. And get my little stone and put it here. Okay. And then what we're going to do is, just holding it in place with your thumb, you're going to bring the 2 wires from this side along the side of it, and the 2 wires from the right side up and around the other side, like that. Okay, and then you're going to bend them at the top in the center, make a little bend like this. Oops. Making sure that these 2 are on the side and these 2 are on this side, like that. Okay, now from here I'm going to get another small piece of my half round wire, again about maybe 3 inches, and holding all of these together, I'm going to place the half round side up against the wires, so the flat side against the wires, so the half round side is facing out, and I'm just going to go around all of these wires a few times. Push them down. And this last one, or actually the first one, I'm just gonna bring it around and through like this. And then the last one that I've just finished wrapping, I'm gonna pull these back out. So I've got 2, 2, and 4. I'm going to wrap it around this 4th one in the back just to finish it off. Oops. Just wrap it around once and then trim. Okay. And then I'm going to trim this first one as well. All right, so now I'm going to close this down, and let's try and get our stones so that they stay in place. I'm going to get my bottom stone and put it back in here. All right, it's not going to come out the back, so that looks good. The front, I'm just going to pull these over a little bit more. The first 2 wires, a twisted one and the next one, so they're more on top of the stone on each side like this. All right, and then the oval one, I'm gonna stick it back in there. There we go. Okay, so this oval one now, I'm gonna take these 4 wires that are in the back, and I do have bail making pliers here, so I'm gonna go ahead and use those. If you don't, you can just bend them over your fingers, but I'm gonna push them all slightly forward, and then I'm going to grab a hold of them and push them around this bail there. Okay, so that is going to be my bail. And then I'm gonna take this wire and I'm gonna bring it around the back and just press those down. So I want this to be nice and closed off. And I'm gonna just bring it back around like this. Okay, for now. Now I'm going to take both of these wires. First I'm going to take the front one and I'm going to make a small little bend, small little C shape here, and then I'm going to curve it along around this right side. Like this. And then I'm going to get some of my beads, my 4mm beads, and put them on this twisted wire. Okay, so I'm going to do one more, I think. So we've got 4. That's good. And then I'm going to bend this wire around to the back like that. And let me just move these out of the way. And I'm gonna trim this. Actually, let me bring it through to the front like this. And then I'm gonna wrap it around one more time to the back, just to make that tight so those don't move. I'm gonna trim it and tuck this inside here. Press that down. Okay. Now I'm going to bring this next wire that's on the left, and I'm going to bend it in that same C shape at the top, and I'm going to follow around this curve and bring this underneath my my beads, and I'm going to wrap around the waist here, and then I'm going to bring it across the front of the bottom stone. I'm just going to trim it a little bit and get my round nose pliers and make a little loop like this. Okay. Now from here, we need to figure out what to do with these extra wires in the back. So we've got 4 little wires here in the back and our bail. So let's trim these off in the back. And with our round nose pliers, we can curl them. Actually, maybe cut them a little shorter than that so that they can curl and then be moved to the side so they don't really stand out. All right, so I'll do that for all of these. I'm going to cut them shorter. And the 2 on the left, I'm going to bend to the left and then bend them down to the side. And the 2 on the right, I will curl around to the right. And then push them down to the side. Make sure it's not sticking out. And the same with this one. Curl and bend to the side. That one's a little long, let me trim it. Okay. Okay. And we can kind of separate out the bail, those 4 there at the top. All right, so now what we want to do is take this wire that we have left on the left, and we're going to bring it around to the front, and we're going to make a little curl going the opposite direction of the one on the bottom stone, and we'll make this one much smaller. So we'll trim it. Okay. And then this last one, we're going to bend it inward as well, like this. So we've kind of got these all lined up here. But this one, we're just going to bring around the back and trim it off. And we can tuck it underneath these back wires from our bail. There. Okay. Now to finish it off, we can take some half round wire and attach here and here just to keep all of these together and to keep our loops from coming unattached. So I will do that real quick. All right, so I just added a little piece of half round wire here and up here. to keep those little loops in place. All right, hope you enjoyed that. Thank you for watching.